This is Clark County District Court Judge Erica Ballou.
You're a black man in America. You know you don't want to be nowhere where cops are. Listen, I listen to you. You listen to me. You know you don't want to be nowhere where cops are. Because I know I don't. And I'm a middle-aged, middle-class black woman. I don't want to be around where the cops are because I don't know if I'm going to walk away alive or not. State of Nevada versus my Christmas.
Judge Erica Ballou already facing multiple ethics charges after a photo in a hot tub with public defenders, social media posts like vacate the expletive out of custody cases, and more. Then on Friday, the Nevada Supreme Court ordered the Clark County District Court Chief Judge to remove Ballou from a criminal case the 8 News Now investigators first told you about last month.
What do you think of Judge Ballou's actions throughout this case?
I believe that she defied the Supreme Court orders twice.
It's the most recent allegations from a public defender who says the judge accused her in court of having sex with her client.
Guys, we have another one. What a very interesting judge. She was elected to help fix the system, but ended up becoming the headline herself. From dropping Cardi B lyrics in the middle of an ethics scandal to literally getting benched for defying the Nevada Supreme Court. Judge Erica Ballou might be the most chaotic judge Las Vegas has ever seen. Some say she's a rebel with a robe. Others think that she's a liability with a law degree. But here's a question we really need to ask. How did a public defender turned judge end up Instagramming from a concert while her courtroom was allegedly on hold? Let's unpack this extremely chaotic judge. Let's get into it. Erica Ballou wasn't your typical judge candidate. No glossy campaign signs, no fancy fundraisers, just a former defender with a defiant streak and a Black Lives Matter pin she refused to take off, even when a judge ordered her to. That moment happened back in 2016 that made a lot of headlines. Ballou stood her ground, the courtroom filled with fellow attorneys in protest, and the movement-minded public took notice. Fast forward to 2020, she ran for judge with no money, no ads, just vibes, and she actually won. She took the bench with a message, justice, but make it unapologetic. And that's exactly what she delivered, maybe a little bit too unapologetically. Within months of donning her robe, Judge Ballou made it clear she wasn't here to whisper. In a 2021 hearing, she told a black defendant, "You are a black man in America. You know you don't want to be nowhere where the cops are. I don't want to be around where the cops are because I don't know if I'm going to walk away alive."
Listen to me. You know you don't want to be nowhere where cops are because I know I don't. And I'm a middle-aged, middle-class black woman. I don't want to be around where the cops are because I don't know if I'm going to walk away alive or not.
That moment hit the news cycle like a gravel smashing on top of someone's head. Obviously, saying something like that, law enforcement unions were pretty pissed off. They called her biased. The sheriff, who later becomes the governor, said she shouldn't be anywhere near a criminal case. But Ballou didn't flinch. To her, this was the kind of hard truth judges were afraid to say.
But that's just one of 2 incidents for which Judge Ballou faces new charges, which commissioners said violated the, quote, impartiality of the judiciary. That other comment was for, quote, chastising a prosecutor in 2021 for saying a man being sentenced for fleeing from police with a firearm had no reason to run. She told them, quote, there are absolute reasons to run from the police.
But here's the issue that even her supporters can't even ignore. Being neutral isn't optional when you wear the robe as a judge. It's the whole job description. Judges don't get to freestyle in court like it's open mic night. They have to be the grown-up in the room, even when everyone else is acting like it's a reality show. The moment a judge starts sounding like an activist instead of a judge, the whole system becomes wobbly because the balance of justice doesn't work if one side thinks the deck is stacked. Imagine walking to a courtroom knowing the judge might already think you're guilty, or worse, doesn't trust the cops bringing a case. That's not just a bad look, that's a mistrial waiting to happen. Now, do judges have personal opinions? Of course, they're human, but they're supposed to check those opinions at the door. Ballou didn't check hers. She brought hers in, opening it up and spun it around like she's Mary Poppins. Neutrality is the thing that makes justice fair. Without it, it's just one person's vibe against another person's freedom.
She has made very clear her feelings on police, and this statement here has enraged our membership, our police officers that go out there and risk their lives every day, myself included, that she needs to go.
And to the critics of what she said, this wasn't about honesty, it was about hostility. And worse, it sounded like prejudice coming from the bench. The courtroom isn't supposed to feel like a podcast, but for Ballou, she was making it sound like it was a TED Talk. And another problem with this judge is she likes to post on social media. So let's talk about this IG post. It's 10:46. Ballou is at a Billie Eilish concert. You see the post right here. Life is still beautiful despite the fact that Billie Eilish doesn't start for 30 minutes and I have a 8:30 calendar tomorrow. Okay, harmless enough. But then here comes the hashtag. Hashtag vacate the shit out of out of custody cases. That hashtag lit a match. Some people viewed it as a judge joking about skipping court. Problem is, some watchdogs saw it as a violation. The Commission on Judicial Discipline launched an investigation. But wait, there's more. Then another photo dropped. Baloo in a hot tub. 2 public offenders, 1 topless male, 2 women, including Baloo, in bikinis. The caption, Robinson is surrounded by great tits. The photo was public. For regular people, you know, as a weekend, you're hanging out with people. But problem is with the judge, it's a scandal. And not just because of the tits caption. These weren't random friends. These were public defenders, active ones who have had cases that landed in her courtroom. So yeah, this wasn't just about a pool party. This looks like a poolside power imbalance. It's a terrible look for someone tasked with playing referee in a system that's supposed to be blind. Justice is supposed to wear a blindfold, not a bikini in a group selfie with the defense team. And no matter how chill that tub was, this kind of socializing sends a boiling hot message about being impartial. Even the perception of favoritism is enough to sink trust in the courts. If your judge is seen soaking in hot water with your legal opponent, literally, it's game over for having faith in the process. Judges are supposed to float above the fray, not float in the same jacuzzi as the attorneys arguing before them. It's not about being fun or stuffy, it's about being fair. And in this case, the optics are straight up fried. Think less Lady Justice and more Spring Break Courthouse edition. Because if the judge is partying with one side, what happens when you're on the other side? Because guess what? Those public defenders, they had cases in her courtroom. Now it looks like favoritism and a frat party. Then came a case that changed everything. Mia Chrism. Chrism has been sentenced to 10 years. Baloo said her lawyer was trash and ordered her release early. But the Nevada Supreme Court reversed it. They said no, the conviction stands. Reimpose the sentence. Period. Baloo, she wasn't feeling that. Instead of complying, she held more hearings, scheduled more arguments, dragged it out. For over a year, she refused to send Chrism back to prison.
A woman will head back to prison after she was released early. She committed violent crimes, but insists she's turned her life around.
A judge wanted to give her a chance, but that judge is accused of breaking some rules.
At the age of 18, she committed an armed robbery. She was part of a violent home invasion. One man pistol whipped another victim, an elderly woman, and she drove a car in a high-speed police chase, which left another driver severely injured.
What would you say to those victims today?
I'm so sorry. I pray for them every day.
The Supreme Court had to step in again and force her hand. One of the justices wrote, "The walls are closing in on the district court that is shockingly refusing to do its job." Then came the hammer. The high court yanked the case from her and reassigned it. That's not normal, that's extreme.
She convinced the authorities that she was going to cooperate and provide information about her co-conspirators. So she was released from custody so that she could cooperate. That's how the system works sometimes. She failed to cooperate, she absconded. And then it was years later that she then raises the subject of her being a sex trafficking victim.
Prosecutors argued to the Nevada Supreme Court, which decided Judge Baloo needs to send Chrisman back to prison to finish her sentence, an order Baloo didn't immediately follow.
By 2024, the Commission on Judicial Discipline had receipts. They hit Baloo with 2 ethics charges for the Instagram post and the hot tub. She took a public censure and was ordered to take a social media ethics course. Then came the Supreme Court order on the Christmas case. But Baloo didn't stop. She tried to rule on the case even after being removed. That triggered 6 more ethics charges in 2025. And just when it looks like things couldn't spiral down further, they did. In spring 2025, public defender Anna Stone filed a bombshell affidavit. She said Baloo implied on the record that Stone was sleeping with her client. Why? Because Stone argued that the man was homeless and needed time before jail. After hearing, Baloo allegedly leaned over and said to the prosecutor, maybe she's effing him.
It's the most recent allegations from a public defender who says the judge accused her in court of having sex with her client.
Johnson taking over for fellow District Court Judge Erica Ballou, who Stone from the Public Defender's Office argued should be removed from Garner's case, saying in a 90-page court filing earlier this month, Ballou, quote, has a demonstrated deep-seated antagonism towards me that makes fair judgment impossible. And she used examples from several cases, including that she repeatedly scolded Stone in open court, saying things like, I want you to do your job, counsel. That's why you get paid the big bucks. Ultimately, Stone saying Ballou crossed a line she couldn't walk back, that Ballou, after court one morning from the bench, quote, accused me of my client, alleging I was having a sexual relationship with the defendant.
That's not just inappropriate, that's just ridiculous. Stone accused Ballou of retaliation, bias, and unprofessional conduct. And this wasn't hearsay. Other attorneys backed it up. So the fallout was pretty swift. The chief judge removed Ballou from all criminal cases in Clark County. Every single one. She's now only on civil duty only. That's not just a timeout, that is a demotion with a capital D. So where does this leave Judge Ballou? She's still on the bench, technically, but she's sidelined from the kind of work that she was elected to do. She's facing formal charges, her reputation is in the garbage, and a courtroom that no longer trusts her. Her defenders say that she's being punished for being outspoken, for shaking up the system. Her critics say that she's gone rogue, abused her power, and made court into a circus. Now here's the thing, the system needs some disruption, but it also needs some discipline. You can't call out injustice while being part of the chaos. So the real question isn't whether George Ballou broke the rules, the question is, does the rope protect her, or is it time to take it off? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Also, check out Patreon and my email newsletter. It's all in the description box below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.